this is my Olympic story. Named Steve Peterson. I was in the 1996 Atlanta Olympics. I rode in the men's lightweight double sculls. We came in ninth place. Sorry about that. Probably the most interesting thing about these Olympics were I made history. I was the first rower ever to weigh in at the Olympics for a rowing event. So since that was the first year that lightweight rowing was actually at the Olympics. So lightweight rowing had been in the World Championships in the early 70s. And basically what it is, it's just a category. Think of wrestling. There's obviously a difference in power when you have a heavyweight rower who weighs 240 pounds and is 6'6", versus a lightweight rower where we actually had to average in pounds 155 pounds. And it just gave an opportunity for smaller people. So lightweight rowing had been in the World Championships, I believe it was 72. And for the first X number of years, probably 3 or 4 years that I was on the national team, and this is the late 80s, early 90s, there was discussion about adding lightweight events at the Olympics because they had not been at the Olympics before. And so it was actually in 94, it was approved that, okay, they're going to add lightweight events to the Olympics. And so 96 was the first year that they actually had lightweight events at the Olympics. But no, my whole family was there, actually, a row behind them. It was great. I mean, again, I had been on 7 national teams and raced at world championships in different countries, and it's an amazing experience to be at that level and racing against people at that level. But to be able to do it in your home country and do it in front of your family, which wasn't ever able to really go to the Worlds for us, it's fantastic. I think, I even think actually in the videotape they talk about one of the races when we're coming into the end and in front of the crowds and I mean, that was just, for our sport, very, very different. I think of, I'm sure people who play in the NFL or Super Bowl are a little used to huge crowds. We aren't. And to have that many people, especially U.S. citizens, cheering us on, it's surreal. It was just an amazing experience. The whole Olympic experience was fantastic. It was especially special. Since I had been racing on the national team before, the racing itself, we were racing against a lot of the same guys that we had raced before. So I don't want to make it sound like that was not special, but what was really special was everything outside the racing. And the opening ceremonies were fantastic. I think my most interesting memory was our uniform. We had blue blazers and all that, but we had these white cowboy hats. And for some reason, I don't remember why, but I brought a couple black Sharpies, and so I was having athletes sign my hat. So I got a bunch of guys from the Dream Team, Charles Barkley, I had Michael Johnson signed it, the track and field star. So I got that thing. That's back at home in a box and probably worth something some point. But it was just actually really interesting getting a chance to meet all these other great athletes from other sports and realizing and knowing that they went through the same challenges that we did in their sport, whether it was hurdles in training and dealing with real life versus being an athlete. And it was very interesting. You know, sometimes you get so stuck in your own little bubble that you don't realize, you know what, other people have the same problems we do, and they're overcoming those same obstacles. That was really special. And I also think we actually had the opportunity, with rowing being the first week of the Olympics, we were done and we were able to spend the next 10 days kind of goofing off, getting free passes to all the events and getting in there, getting to know the athletes, watching them in practice. So we got to know a lot of the athletes, which was really special, and that was, I think, very unique.
Yeah, wow, I'm super jealous.
It was really cool. Yeah. And closing ceremonies was fantastic too, because that ends up being more almost like a free-for-all party where, I don't want to say it's less formal, but it is. I mean, the athletes, they let their hair down. Everybody's kind of having fun. You're trading stuff with other athletes. That one, okay, opening ceremonies, you went down on the field, but you were kind of prim and proper. The other one, the closing ceremony, someone had pulled up some of the tarp from the track, and we were running on the track, and I'm like, this is where Michael Johnson ran. And so that was all kind of fun, but everything about it was just amazing.